On a foggy evening, Emma, a curious historian, stumbled upon an old forgotten manor deep within the woods. The townsfolk had warned her not to go near it, claiming it was cursed. But Emma, driven by her love for uncovering forgotten histories, couldn't resist exploring the ancient building. She didn't believe in curses until that night. As Emma approached the manor's large wooden doors, she noticed they were slightly ajar, creaking softly in the wind. A cold breeze brushed against her skin, sending shivers down her spine. Taking a deep breath, she pushed the door open further, the hinges groaning loudly in the stillness. The entrance hall was dimly lit by the last rays of daylight, casting eerie shadows on the walls. The manor was filled with old portraits of stern-faced figures, their eyes following Emma as she walked through the hallway. As she passed one of the larger portraits, the air seemed to grow heavier. The figure in the painting, an old man with coal-piercing eyes, seemed to shift in his frame, his gaze locked on her. Emma froze, her heart racing. Suddenly, the sound of footsteps echoed from somewhere deep within the house. Drawn by the sound of the footsteps, Emma cautiously made her way to a room at the far end of the manor. The door creaked as she pushed it open. Inside was a small, forgotten room, with a single rocking chair in the center. The chair rocked slowly, though there was no breeze. On the floor beneath it, a dusty diary lay open, its pages flipping as if touched by an unseen hand. The room felt suffocating, and the whispers began. Emma picked up the diary and began to read. It told the story of a family cursed by greed and betrayal. The last entry ended abruptly with the words, "The house will not let me leave." Suddenly, the door behind her slammed shut. Emma spun around, her heart pounding. A soft voice whispered from the shadows behind her. "You shouldn't have come." Panic surged through Emma as the whispers grew louder, echoing from every corner of the room. She dropped the diary and ran for the door, but it wouldn't budge. The walls seemed to close in, the air growing colder with each second. Just as she thought she was trapped, the door flew open, and Emma stumbled out into the hallway. But the manor wasn't done with her yet. As she fled down the hallway, the portraits watched her, their eyes glowing in the dim light. The air around her grew thick, and the shadows seemed to stretch out, reaching for her. She burst through the front door, gasping for air, and ran into the night without looking back. Once outside, Emma paused to catch her breath. She looked back at the manor, its windows dark and silent. For a moment she thought she was free, but then from the open doorway, a figure appeared, an old man, the same one from the portrait, standing motionless. He raised his hand and pointed directly at her. Emma turned and ran, the whispers still echoing in her ears, the haunting far from over.